कार्याहि अपचितेर्गुरो शक्या अप्रमत्तैः गृह्येत शक्या अप्रमत्ते गृह्येत सा आदरं गतमत्सरैः सादरं गतमत्सरैः एतावती आत्मजयवीरा कार्या हि अपचितिर्गुरो शक्या प्रपत्तिर्गृह्येत सादरं गतमत्सरैः एतावती आत्मजयवीरा कार्या हि अपचितिर्गुरो शक्या प्रमत्तिर्गृह्येत सादरं गतमत्सरैः एतावती just exactly like this Atmajaihi by the offspring Veera O hero Karya should be performed he certainly Apachitihi worship Guru unto the superior Shakya with full capacity Apramataihi by the same Grihyeta should be accepted Sa Adaram with great delight Gatamatsarai by those who are beyond. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. O hero, your example is quite befitting a son in relationship with his father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required. One who is beyond the limit of envy and who is sane accepts the order of his father with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. Please repeat the translation. O hero, your example is quite befitting a son in relationship with his father. This sort of adoration for the superior is required. One who is beyond the limit of envy and who is sane accepts the order of his father with great delight and executes it to his full capacity. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. When the four previous sons of Brahma, the sages Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumara, refused to obey their father, Brahma was mortified and his anger was manifested in the shape of Rudra. That incident was not forgotten by Brahma and therefore the obedience of Manu, Swayambhu, was very encouraging. From the material point of view, the four sages' disobedience to the order of their father was certainly abominable. But because such disobedience was for a higher purpose, they were free from the reaction of disobedience. Those who disobey their fathers on material grounds, however, are surely subjected to disciplinary reaction for such disobedience. Manu's obedience to his father on material grounds was certainly free from envy, and in the material world it is imperative for ordinary men to follow the example of Manu. Presents the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaurabhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Brahma in response to Swayambhu Manu's request, he is saying, Etavati Atmajair Veera. Oh my dear hero, Etavati, this is exactly what I want. Atmajaihi, from the sons, offsprings. Karyahi apachitir guru. Karya, whatever they have to be performed, he certainly, and guru apachitihi, they should worship their superior. Shaktya apramatter grihyeta. And how could they support their guru? Shaktya, by his full capacity. And apramattaihi, pramattaha means those who are insane. Apramattaha means by the sane. Grihyeta, they should be accepted. Sa adaram, with great delight. When an order is given, they should perform with great delight. Gatamatsaraihi, those who are beyond the limit of envy. Because the sane devotees are free from all these materialistic qualities. Enviousness is the basic principle. So today I will be talking about what is this envy and how to get out of this envy. What are the different gradations of envy? What Srila Prabhupada had explained in Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada says the first envy for the living entity started in the spiritual world. He says, everyone desires to be the greatest personality in the material world. Dveshaha means envy. When one becomes envy of Krishna or the Supreme Lord, one thinks, why should Krishna be all and all? I am as good as Krishna. These two items, desire to be the Lord and envy of the Lord, are the beginning cause of material bondage. So two things which starts our material bondage is desire to be the Lord. Why everybody have to serve the Lord? Why I can't become Krishna? Why everybody can't serve me? This is the first thing. And envious of the Lord. Why did that place come? Why did that desire come? Because we are envious of the Lord. So these two are the basic things for a living entity's material bondage. Now on explaining this, Prabhupada says there are 4 types of envy in this material world. In 4 different verses, the word enviousness is used in Bhagavatam. In 3.32.39 to 42, in these 4 verses, 4 gradations of enviousness is explained. The first one is kala. This envy is such that the living entity plans and executes the destruction of other living entities. Kala is the first stage. Because you are envious of an opposite person, you want to destroy him and you make a plan for that. Then second one is dvesha. This envious is very dangerous and affects our blood circulation. So as soon as you see that person, you become hot-tempered. Your blood will be running at high speed. We tend to hate the living entity and create enmity from them in our minds. So as soon as you see them, your mind is disturbed. Enmity is created within the mind. Then third one is asuya. This envy is subtle envy. This envy makes the living entity to find faults with other living entities. Even though they do everything good, you would like to try and find fault in them. This is the third category. And the last one is matsara. This envy bites everyone without discrimination like a mosquito. This is the total envy of all the 3 combined together earlier. So we heard these words, but this practical thing, everything has a gradation. Kala, dvesha, asuya, matsara. So these 4 types of envy can be remembered by a simple word called pest. Pest means, for there is a crop, there will be unwanted things which will try to destroy the crop. They are known as pest. So when there is a pest to the crop, what would you do? You apply pesticide. So you require pesticide to remove this pest. So to remove this subtle and gross, deep-rooted envy from the core of our heart, we also require pesticide. So what is this pesticide is? P. First P means perceiving the temporary nature of the material world and everything seen around us. The first P is perception of the material world. Everything is temporary. Then next, E. eagerness to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. Next is yes, to stop the sense gratification. Next, T, time to be utilized cautiously in studying and contemplating on the scriptures, which will eliminate our thinking process of planned envy. Because you are engaged in devotional service, you don't have time for any other material considerations. Then I, introspective in our dealings with others, especially when the subtle envy is generated within us. We have to introspect. Then C, constantly strive for rectifying our envious nature, always by sincere chanting and service. So by chanting and service, we should come out of this, our envious nature. Next, I, identify the value of time which is passing away imperceptibly and not waste frivolous in envying others. Don't engage in activities which are shrameva hi kevalam, waste of endeavor. Then next is D, develop a sense of belonging to all fellow beings as part and parcel of Krishna. Because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna, we should have that sense of belonging. They are all our God brothers. Then last is E, envisioning our death always as we are all conditioned or condemned to death. Because we are all destined to die, what is the point in trying to envy somebody artificially? So in that way, using this pesticide, we will be able to come out of the pest, what is bugging in our heart and bugging our consciousness. So Bhagavatam gives certain ways how to come out of this envious nature. So like in Bhagavatam 9th canto, Shukdev Goswami explains, after explaining Lord Ramachandra's character and his pastimes, he says, Pumso Ramacharitam Shravanair Upadrarayan Anushamya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate. He says, my dear Rajan, O King Parikshit, Purushaha means anyone, Shravanai Upadarayan, who orally receives Ramacharitam, the transcendental activities of Lord Ramachandra, who hears the transcendental pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, Anurshamya Paraha, he becomes free from this disease of enviousness. And Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate, and he becomes liberated from this bondage of fruitive activities. The whole thing is, when you hear this Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana or Bhagavatam, is we should become free from all these unwanted qualities. By hearing at pastimes, we should become cleansed of. It is not a time pass, aya, gaya. No, it is for our purification. So Prabhupada explains in that purport, one becomes envious because of being influenced by the designations of the body. So when we start comparison, that's where enviousness starts. We see a next person, both of us joined in the same day, both of us are working hard, but one is working like donkey, another is working like horse. We don't know. We compare, both of us joined same time, we are all doing the same work. There is a quality in the work. There is the time precision in the work. So there are many other considerations which to our level we will not be able to understand. But this comparison we do and we start envying others. If he gets better benefit, if I am not recognized, we become envious of him. We say, he is not qualified, he has manipulated, we say. He tampered around with people. We don't accept our inconvenience, our shortcomings. But a liberated devotee has nothing to do with the body, therefore he is completely free from this transcendental, he is free from this material qualities. Because he is already in the liberated platform, he doesn't compare with anyone. A devotee is never envious of anyone, even his enemy, because the devotee knows that the Lord is the supreme protector. What harm can this so-called enemy do? Because the devotee is completely confident of Lord's protection. Avasya Rakshibe Krishna. Vishwasha iti palana. Because he is completely Krishna, he is not be envious of him. A devotee must completely be free from envy, especially of other devotees. To envy other devotees is the greatest offense, Vaishnava Aparadha. Then one more place in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which explains how Krishna Katha destroys enviousness. Yet anucharita leela karna piyusha viprut sakrut adana vibhuta dvandva dharma vinashtaha sapati gruha kutumbam deena ushrichya deena bahva iha vihanga bhikshu charyam charanti. This yad anucharita leela karna piyusha viprut. The topics about Krishna are so powerful that they destroy the four religious principles, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So, karna piyusha, if someone drinks about this, how do you drink? By your mouth. But topics about Krishna, you have to drink by our ear. Karna piyusha. Through oral reception is free from all material attachment and envy. Sakrat adhana viduta dvandva dharma vinastaha. He becomes free from this dvandva in the material world of envy and attachment. These are the two things which bind the living entity. Ichcha dvesha, attachment and enviousness. Vihanga iva means like a bird which has no means of subsistence. Such a person becomes bhikshu charyam charanti. He becomes like a beggar and lives by begging from others. Because ordinary householder affairs become miserable for him, and without attachment he suddenly gives up everything. Although such renunciation is quite suitable, because I am a woman and I am able to accept it. So Krishna Katha destroys the envious nature. And further in Bhagavatam, how a devotee should respond, what are his duties are also explained by Lord Kapila in 3rd canto. Mahatam bahumanena deenanam anukampaya maitra chaivatma tulyeshu yamena niyamena cha. So with other living entities, when we start comparing, we are coming in faults and we become envious. Now how do I handle with other living entities? What should be my relationship with other living entities? If I can't compare, what should I do? So Kapila Muni is giving this practical solution. He is saying, Mahatam Bahumanena. Mahata means great devotees and pure devotees. Bahumanena. You should respect them. You should give your complete... the pure devotee should execute bhakti by giving greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. Bahumanena, by adoration, by respect. Mahatam, of the great devotees. Deenanam anukampaya. He should be compassionate to the poor. Because we see all this, we see great people, we see poor people. For great people, we should offer our respect. For poor people, we should offer our compassion. And Maitreya Chaivatma Tulyeshu, we see equals. So we should make friendship with those who are equals. So Yamena Niyamena Cha, by all his activities should be executed under regulation and with control of senses. So how do I handle? With regulation, Yamena, Niyamena, and control of the senses. Next, further he says, Dvishataha parakaye mam manino binya darshinaha bhutesha baddha vairasya namana shantim rachati. If you envy other living entities, what will be our thing? What will happen? Mam maninaha, one who respects me, means one who respects Lord. But Dvishataha parakaya, one who is envious of others. One who respects the Lord but he is envious of other living entities is Binna Darshinaha, he is a separatist whose vision is in duality. Na mana shantim rachati, he never attains peace of mind at any time. He is restless, he is full of anxiety. No peace of mind for him, it seems. Because Bhuteshu Baddha Vairasya, because of his inimical behavior towards other living entities, he can never have a peaceful life at all. So, Rishabhadeva, while teaching his sons, what does he say? Tasmat bhavanto hrudayena jataha sarve mahiyamsham amum sanabam aklishta buddhya bharatam bhajadvam shushushanam tad bharanam prajana. So there are many sons, 100 sons he had. So of that 9 became Parivirajikacharyas, Navayogendras. That's what in the 11th canto we hear from them. Then there are 10 Brahmanas and 81 Kshatriyas. So in that 81 Kshatriyas, Bharat Maharaj is the eldest son. So he is saying he is also of all good qualities. So Rishabhadeva is saying, so my dear boys, Bhavanto Hrudayena Jataha, you are all born from my heart. Hrudayena Jataha, you all took from my heart. So, which is seat of all good qualities. The Supreme Lord's heart is as pure as anything it can be. So therefore, Aklishta Buddhya, you should not be like materialistic and envious men. You should not be like materialistic men. Sanabam, you should accept your elder brother, Bharata. Mahiya Amsham is exalted in his devotional service. Because he is a great personality. Bhavadvajam, if you engage in his service, Shushushanam, your service to him will include my service. And Bharanam Prajanam, and you will be able to rule the citizens automatically. So the principle, you see, the Supreme Lord is saying, if you worship the Acharya, that includes worship of me automatically. The importance of worshipping the superiors is established by the Lord himself here. Superior means not just by age, by qualification. So if the people are qualified and if they are engaged in their service, then automatically the Supreme Lord is very pleased. So when Jadabharata, we know about his story, he was like a dullard personality. Bharata himself in his third life, he becomes Jadabharata. So he was sitting in one place, lonely place. So there were some dacoits who were looking for some man animal to be slaughtered. So the leader of dacoits was in expectation of something. He wanted to offer a man animal, means pashu, an animal who is a manishi, who is like a pashu, dullard. Sometimes we scold some Dunnapota, means he is like a buffalo, dullard. Like Gada, we say donkey, you are like a donkey. Or sometimes we say you are like a hathi, elephant, because they are all dullard animals. So here also, like when they thought they were looking for one particular person who is of that nature. They saw Jadabharata, who is very strong, hatta katta, but looking like a dullard person, dumbo person. So they bought him, they took him to the place, they made him bath, they fed him nicely, and they were about to be slaughtered. They decorated him, they made all the pujas ready in front of Kali when they were about to slaughter. So at that time, Kali becomes very angry. They are trying to satisfy Mother Kali, but Kali becomes very angry. When they were about to chop off, he said that the last moment she bursts out of the deity. She takes the chopper from that person who is about to chop and slaughters all the dacoits there and kills all of them. And they start playing with all their heads like balls, like football. How do we play? With all their heads, the Kali and all her associates, they start playing. So there it says, Kali, she doesn't want a pure devotee to be offended in this perspective. Jadabharata was a pure devotee, she could recognize. He's a great personality. Offending him is the greatest thing what these bandits are trying to do, dacoits are trying to do. Because of their envious attitude, they are trying to destroy another pure devotee. She could not tolerate. She burst out of the deity and destroyed all those people who are her own worshippers. So in that place, there it says, when an envious person commits an offense before a great personality, he is always punished in the way mentioned above. So the envious nature, they get this punishment. So similarly, there was one more personality, Indra, who out of his opulences becomes pride and he starts envying others. And he starts creating disturbance to various personalities. Entire Bhagavatam, in every canto, somewhere you will see Indra disturbing the other person. If somebody does tapasya, Indra becomes, oh, this person is trying to compete with me. He wants to sit on my seat. So Prabhupada writes one place, the more power one has, the more one is liable to become puffed up. Demigods like Brahma and Indra sometimes become proud and forget Krishna's supreme position. So one such situation is this Govardhan Leela. Indra became puffed up of his opulences and he wanted everybody to worship him, everybody to recognize him. So Nanda Maharaj and all the other cowherds, they were all doing that Indra Yajna. But when Krishna understood that Indra has become puffed up and he has to be corrected, so he stopped the Indra Yajna and inspired everyone to worship Govardhana. Because he gave justification why Govardhana has to be worshipped. Because we are cowherds, we get all our requirements from Govardhan. Drinking water, fresh grass, all the wood, fruits and vegetables. So everything, whatever is there for our cowherd requirement, everything is coming from this Govardhan. So we should be practically be worshipping this Govardhan, and Lord inspired Nanda Maharaj and everyone to do Govardhan Yajna. So how do you satisfy Govardhan? With all the cows and with all the Brahmanas, everybody should circumambulate Govardhan. And at the end, you should offer Annakuta, all the ingredients for the satisfaction of Govardhan. So Nanda Maharaj performed, they did circumambulation with all their cows and with all the Brahmanas, with all the protection, because cows are going, protection is required. So after this, then they offered huge quantities of food grains and they offered it as a Naivedya to the Lord. And that Naivedya was like almost like lakes and lakes of butter, lakes of cream, lakes of kheer, small mountains of another size mountains of rice, sabjis, everything was offered in huge quantities. And Govardhan ate everything. Krishna expanded himself as Govardhan and he finished everything, all the offerings. And he, at the end, he blessed them by saying that those who have worshipped me, they will be getting all the benedictions of spiritual life. He did not give material benedictions. He gave spiritual benediction. So after that, then Indra became very angry. He became very alerted with the situation. Then he ordered Samvartaka. There are 7 categories of rain, and Samvartaka is one such rain which comes at the devastation time. So he ordered Samvartaka to go and inundate the entire Vrindavan. In the Samvartaka, what happens? The rain, generally we see the drops. How much will be the drop? We say big coin size drops, big size. So Samvartaka, the raindrop is size of a pillar. You can understand how big the size of the raindrop is, like a pillar. And if it is with that force, if it is coming, everything will be devastated. The earth will break into pieces. So Krishna could understand this is the envious attitude of Indra. He wanted to protect, because Vrajavasis have taken his shelter and there is no other one who can protect the Vrajavasis and the cows and everyone. So Krishna wanted to give them an auspicious opportunity. So he went and lifted the Govardhana hill. And because of the touch of Krishna, it expanded so much that everybody, entire Vraja was able to fit under that Govardhana hill. For 7 days, they were able to handle, all the requirements were placed within that Govardhana hill. So for 7 days, they were completely in the first lockdown. We all experienced lockdown during Corona, 7 days without moving out. So this is traditionally the first lockdown. Indra had surrendered Vrindavan and Krishna had to experience lockdown. Krishna had to experience lockdown. 7 days, you can't move out of the house. But he managed everything. So everybody were very happy and everybody enjoyed this situation. So after the thing, then Indra came to his senses and he recognized, I am trying to offend my Lord. So he came back and he offered respects and he prayed to Krishna. So he says, Ye mad vidagnya jagadisha maninaha tvam viksha kale abhayam asutan madam hitva arya margam prabhajanti apasmaya iha kalanam apite anushashanam. He says, mad vidagnya, I am a fool. Fools like me, ye jagadisha maninaha, who treat themselves as the Lord of the universal lords, jagadisha maninaha, who think they are special people. Asutan madam apasmaya hitva, quickly give up their conceit and false pride. And arya margam prabhajanti, they accept the path of the great devotees. Because tvam viksha kale abhayam, when they see you are fearless even in the face of time, tvam viksha kale abhayam, there is no bhaya in you. Then iha kalanam apite anushashanam, you punish the mischievous only to instruct them. So you don't kill them, you try to purify them of their envious attitude. Next, he says, Sattvam mamaishwarya madah pulasya kritaagasaste avidishuhu prabhavam kshantum prabho atarhasi mooda chetaso ma evam punarbhun matirisha me asti. He says, Mama Aishwarya Mada Pulasya, I have become proud of my ruling power. And Te Avidishuhu Prabhavam, ignorant of your power, ignorant of your potency. My pride made me blind to your potency. And Krita Agasas Satvam, and I had offended you. O Lord, O Ishaha, Ata Arhasi Kshantum Prabho, O my dear Lord, please forgive me. Mooda chetasa, my intelligence has become bewildered. Ma evam punarbhun matirme asti. See that my consciousness never again becomes so impure. He is praying to the Lord. See that my consciousness, I will not repeat it again. And finally he says, Tvaya ishanu grahitosmi dvasta stambo vruto udyamaha Ishwaram gurum atmanam Tvamaham sharanam gataha. O Ishaha, O my dear Lord, Tvaya anugrahitaha, you have shown your mercy upon me. By dvasta stamba asmi, by shattering my pride, my false pride, and vruta vudyamaha, and my defeating my attempt to destroy Vrindavan. Tvam Ishwaram Gurum Atmanam, you are the Supreme Lord, the spiritual master, and the Supreme Soul. Aham Sharanam Gataha, and I have come for your shelter. So in that way, he had accepted the shelter of the Lord, and he was relieved from the part of offending the Lord in this Govardhan Puja. So similarly, sometimes Krishna is very famous as butter thief. There is one small story mentioned in Garga Samhita, spoken by Garga Muni. So Krishna's childhood pastimes were very enlightening. They used to enjoy, and they used to sometimes complain to Mother Yashoda also. So and he used to find every day different means how to steal butter from the gopis' houses. Because for Krishna, they were all thinking, okay, Mother Yashoda only could have Krishna. If Krishna could have been our son, we could have also fed him with nice butter and everything and all these things and all. And they were all contemplating like this while they were churning. And they were in the mind, they were inviting the Lord, please come to my home and please eat my butter. So since they were inviting the Lord has to come. And he wants to give a different experience for all the friends and cows and, all the friends and other monkeys and all. So then Mother Yashoda sometimes used to catch Krishna and ask, why are you roaming around with these monkeys? Are you not afraid with these monkeys? So Krishna says, no, they are all my friends. And they have been helping me from Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. They had helped me in building the bridge. They had helped me in conquering Ravana. Even though at that time I was a king, since I was in the forest, I could not take care of them properly. I could not feed them. Sometimes they had to go hungry. And they could not get proper food also, proper meals also at any time. But they all sacrificed their interest for my purpose. So since they have conquered me, I am obliged to them. So that's why I feed butter to them. And I take, and like, this is my gratitude for them, for their help. So there was one devotee, one more gopi by name Prabhavati. She is like Upananda's wife, like Nanda, Upananda, they are all brothers. So Prabhavati and Yashoda are like, what do you say? Huh? Co-sisters. So one day she came to Nanda's house and she started speaking to Yashoda Maya. She said, for two of us there is no separate property in butter, ghee or milk. So by your kindness, whatever is yours, also whatever is mine. I don't say that you have taught your son how to steal. I know you didn't teach him, but I have to tell you, but your son comes and steals butter on his own. When I try to give him good instruction, your arrogant son speaks bad words and he runs away from my courtyard. Even though he is the son of the king, he should not steal. Oh Mother Yashoda, there are some other things also, but out of respect for you, I have not told all of them. Then Mother Yashoda said, with great love, I have 10 million cows in my house and so much butter and so much thing that it is overflowing. I don't know where to keep the fresh things at all. But I don't know why this boy always goes and steals in the others' houses. So next time when you see him stealing, you catch him red-handed, you bring to me. In his hand there should be butter and in his mouth that butter should be there. If you catch him red-handed, bring him to me. I am going to punish him in such a way that he should not repeat this task in future again. Then Prabhavati became very happy. She went back home. Then again Krishna, next day, he went to their house. Slowly, he climbed the wall. He not only went alone, he took a group. Balarama and all the other people and all were there, friends were there, some monkeys were also there. So they climbed the wall, they saw the pots were hanging on a top roof ceiling. So he made a pile of things, whatever is available there. And he made some boys stand there and he climbed on top of them. But still, he was not able to reach the top of the pot. He was shortage by some things. Then there were two other boys who picked up some stones and hit that pot. Somebody hit with a stick and somebody hit with a stone. So there was a breakage in the pot which made a sound. In the meantime, all the butter has fallen down. So Krishna started eating and he started sharing with the boys. Then he gave something to the monkeys also. But as soon as the sound came, Prabhavati came there with a stick. As soon as they saw Prabhavati, all the boys and monkeys vanished and Krishna was caught red-handed. Now Krishna was caught red-handed. Now she started, now this is the opportunity for me. Let me take you to Yashoda, and today you are going to get nice beatings, she started saying. Then she started pulling him towards the house. But when they came near, in the entrance there was Nanda Maharaj. So out of shy of Nanda Maharaj, she covered immediately her sari upon this boy and she took him inside. So when she took him inside, she called Yashoda, Yashoda, please come. Today I have caught red-handed. Your son, who was stealing butter in my house, I have caught red-handed and you said bring him. So I have brought him here. Please scold him and please punish him. And the Krishna could understand today Mother Yashoda is going to beat me. So he immediately transformed himself into son of Prabhavati herself. And Mother Yashoda could see that it was not her son, it is Prabhavati's son. She said, I am going to punish, even it is your son. So first be clear whether who has stolen it. Whether it is my son who has stolen it or it was your son. Then Prabhavati said, are you saying that my son has stolen? Then Yashoda said, remove that sari, we will see who is that son who has stolen this butter. As soon as she removed the sari, she was surprised. It was her own son who was standing there. And Prabhavati was shocked. He said, where did you come here? When did you come here? Then Mother Yashoda said, first take care of your son before complaining on my son. Then all the people there, they started laughing. The Nanda Maharaj, Balram, everybody. So out of shyness, she went away outside the house. Then Krishna, while walking back home, she was scolding her son. How did you come here? When did you land here? All these things. Then Then Krishna transformed himself back. And this time he stopped her and gave a warning. See, this time I am leaving you. Next time, if you do such activity, it will be your husband standing next to you. And you are going to get a laughing stock of entire Vrindavan will laugh at you. And with this warning, all the gopis in Vrindavan stopped complaining to Mother Yashoda because they don't know what will happen to their prestige and all. Nobody came forward to catch Krishna or complain to Mother Yashoda from that day onwards. See, Krishna performed these unique pastimes not just for butter, to steal our hearts, so that we become mesmerized, we become attracted, and we become enchanted by all his pastimes, and we become engrossed in his pastimes, and we become surrendered devotees to him. So such are the divine pastimes of the Lord. There are many other details. We'll discuss more in the next session. We'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanand.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133